The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Las Casas Feed Supply, locally owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, specializing in animal feeds, premium pet foods, farm supplies, and more. I'm Danny Brewer. I'm feeling better than a buttermilk biscuit right now because I've got the Dean of Rutherford County High School football coaches on the line, Coach Matt Williams of Smyrna. How are you, Coach?
Good, Danny. How are you?
Well, Coach, it's like I was talking with Coach Kreisky, it's a wonderful day. I mean, we got sunshine. It's September. Great things are happening all over the place. It really is a good morning, I feel like.
Oh, it is. I mean, the fall is my favorite time of year, and your weather starts turning a little bit. Hopefully, I know it's going to be warm today, but hopefully it'll start turning cool. And you got college football on today, so I love the fall for sure.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about last night's game, the big North Rutherford County Rumble, Smyrna-Laverne. I know that it's been extremely one-sided as far as the outcomes, but Laverne game is always a scary game for Smyrna, is it not? It
is. I mean, you're always going to get their best shot, and I know their kids prepare probably a little bit harder that week and play harder than they normally do. And I let our kids know that, and I always remind them I was on the sideline in 1999 when it didn't go our way, and Laverne had a really good team that year, and we didn't execute and got beat, and it's obviously something we want to try to avoid. But I thought our kids played extremely hard last night, and I was proud of that. That's probably the thing I can say we've done week in and week out. I think we played hard every week. Just execution is what gets us a lot of times, and a lot of positives last night. I thought we executed in a lot of areas. I thought our defense played really well and against option football, which is not always easy. And we obviously still got to clean up some things. So I think we had close to 100 yards of penalties, and that's something I, as a coach, we've got to continue to get better at.
Well, Coach, before we, because I got a few points I want to make about the game, but before we get in, I want to talk about the Smyrna-Laverne rivalry. Mr. Rakes, did you get a phone call from Mr. Rakes before the game last night?
Didn't get a phone call. I did talk to him earlier in the week, though. His birthday was on Tuesday, and it's always pretty easy for me to remember his birthdays. My dad's is the 16th, and Mr. Rakes is the 17th. So got to talk with him this week, which was obviously a great thing. And we did talk about the Smyrna-Laverne game, and he was a part of a lot more of them than I have been. I think last night was like my 24th or 25th, being a part of that game. But it was obviously great to talk to him, and he's a guy I look up to and appreciate more than anybody could probably understand, because he believed in me when a lot of people probably wouldn't have. And he's really a man I look up to.
And he wouldn't put any extra pressure on you about winning the game now, would he?
He was getting on to me about our sprinkler system on our practice field. So, he's right. We've got to get that fixed. But, he's still Smyrna through and through, and, still very, very aware of what's going on at that high school. And I know Dr. Sutherland's also looks up to him a great deal, and she's done a great job carrying on a lot of his, traits and beliefs. And it's always good to have great leadership, and I've been lucky to have, Mr. Rakes and Rick Powell and Dr. Sutherland.
Yeah, Robert Rakes, forever Bulldog, right?
Oh, no question.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the game last night. You got off to a good start, which that's important in a game like that, correct?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, we talked about getting off to a good start and being physical and setting the tone. And I thought we did a good job of that. I thought our kick teams did a lot better last night and executed. I thought our kickoff team covered, with the exception maybe of one kickoff. I thought we did a good job of coverage. And so, I think getting off to a good start there is paramount. And, this game coming in, they were winless, and we only had one win. So it was, both teams were going to be hungry. So absolutely getting off to a good start was a big thing.
I want to talk about a play in the second quarter. I think Smyrna's up 15-0, and, the game's highly in question at that time. And there's a pass play, and to me this defined the game right here. Pass play, the Judkins throws the ball down there, kind of underthrows it a little bit.
Yeah.
The Laverne defender had it in his hands, and Valentine came over his back and just snatched the ball right out of his hands. And that, to me, told me Smyrna wanted the game. They wanted the game more than Laverne. Yeah, that kind of play has to make you feel great.
It does, and yeah, Donnell Valentine made a heck of a play there on the ball. When it was thrown, I said, that's intercepted. I think I probably said a bad word, but
Coach.
Yeah, Donnell goes up and snatches it out, out of the defender's hands, and I was proud of him, and that's what Coach Doug Green, Coach Doug Green coached our secondary and does a lot of our kick teams, and Doug's been a head coach, long-time defensive coordinator, and a veteran coach, and he made that statement. He said, we finally had a kid make a play, and not saying we haven't had kids make plays, but a lot of those 50-50 plays, you've got to have players make plays. I don't care how good a coach you are. You can coach scheme and techniques all you want to, but at some point, players got to make plays. And Donnell did just that, and I was proud of him. There's not a better kid. I mean, that kid is so fun to coach, such a pleasant young man, cares about his teammates, cares about his coaches, cares about his school and his program, and it obviously couldn't have happened to a better young man.
Yes, you're absolutely right, and that was flat making a play, no question about that. So after that, then you went to one of my favorite forms of the Bulldog offense that I've seen this year, the Power I. Talk a little bit about the Power I running game that you folks are employing.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of an attitude thing for us, and we take pride in it. And we're lucky to have some big backs. You got DJ Barksdale, who's a thumper. I mean, DJ's a 200-plus pound kid that is super strong. You got Ryan Carver, who's also a big back. You got Aiden Augustine, who's not a small kid, and then you put Jerry Martin in there up front, and Jerry's a beast, and literally an animal. And I thought we did a pretty good job for the most part last night, filling our down blocks and getting that stuff. But I mean, that's an attitude formation. There's no question about it. And when you get in that, you've got all your guys right there bundled up, and they're going to have literally almost, basically you can say 11 guys in the box if you want to get down to it. And it's man on man. And, we've got some good plays out of it this year, and I think it's something hopefully will help us down the line, something we can hopefully expand on a little bit. But, Jerry does a great job lead blocking, and DJ and Ryan Carver and Augustine all do a good job in that formation. And, it's something that's been good for us. And I think it's something we'll always try to employ because, there's so much spread and so much, I guess you could say new wave type football. I think it's good to have that in your package where you can come back to old school football.
It is old school, and it's man whoop a man offense is what it is, right?
100%, yeah. I mean, that the defense knows you're going to get down blocks, kick outs, and leads, and, you got to defend that, and it comes down to defend that. And like I say, our kids do a great job in the backfield. That's the difference. You can have, big guys up front, but if you don't have those violent kick-out blocks and that violent lead block, it's not really that good. So we've been fortunate to have that this year, and something we're trying to expand on a little bit. Hopefully we can, and hopefully it can help us some next week. Because I know when we get, I know you're not talking about McGabby yet, but they've got some big dudes. So we're going to have to be really, really tight in our assignments and our physicality in that set.
Coach, let's talk about the play up front because I think that controlling the line of scrimmage is one thing that you guys did an excellent job of last night on both sides of the ball when you pitched this 36-0 shutout. Talk about the play up front on both sides.
Yeah, I thought it was much better. Grayson Pitts and C.J. Griffin, Brett Williams, and Will McKnight. And, we had at times Jesse Villanueva, Tyler Green, Tyson Hines. And I'm probably leaving some out. Stephen Valencia. All our offensive linemen have gotten better. And, we've struggled at times this year. There's no question about it. But they've had a great attitude. That group, no ego. And they get yelled at every day, I can go ahead and tell you. Because the unfortunate part for them is their offensive coordinator, Mark Williams, was an old O-line coach and played O-line. I'm an old O-line coach and played O-line. And Coach Pitts obviously played O-line and is their coach. So they get yelled at a lot. And they've stayed the course, and they're all great kids, every one of them, just wonderful young men, and, proud of that group because, it's hard when you've not had a success every week to keep coming back to work and taking the butt chewings and still coming back to work with a great attitude and trying hard. So couldn't be proud of that group.
The guys behind the O-line, you've got a good stable of running backs. You mentioned Aiden Augustine. You mentioned Ryan Carver. I think Augustine, 94 yards rushing. Carver had 71 yards rushing. Talk about your stable of running backs you got, Coach.
Yeah, I thought Augustine ran really hard last night and did some good things. Ryan Carver had 2 touchdowns. Did a really good job. And, I texted him this morning. He did a good job running the ball, but we faked the punt last night. And he had a heck of a kick-out block on that play. And Augustine, of course, on that play had a touchdown called back because of just a silly block in the back. But our running backs have done well, and we've got some young kids coming up. I think will do a good job too. Travell Gordon's a sophomore. I'm really excited about. He played a lot there late. He's a tall, really fast kid, but he's physical. I mean, I'm talking about like really physical, and I'm excited about him down the line in the future. And so I think we've got kids back there that can toe to mail, so to speak. But yeah, Aiden's done a good job with that, and Aiden's been forced back into a lot of defense. Dalen Sanders, our sophomore inside linebacker, was doing such a good job. Hurt his arm last week, and we're still waiting on MRI on that. But Aiden did a really good job last night because he played a lot of defense and also had to play both sides of the ball and did a good job.
Toting the mail, the phrase I love. So you got McGavick coming in this week. It's homecoming, another big region game, right, Coach?
It is, and we got to get past the distractions. Our young men are going to have to understand that our job is, and you don't, and I say this now, they're high school kids, and they've got to enjoy the experience. They've only got one shot at this in life, and I want them to enjoy the homecoming activities and festivities, but we've got to win a football game, and we've got to prepare to win a football game, and you're only going to do that. And they know this. I say all the time, you win football games Monday through Thursday. So we've got to come in with a great attitude and a focus. We've got to be able to separate the two. We've got to be able to separate the homecoming festivities and the football preparation. And, hopefully our young men, I know they'll come in with a good attitude and determined to go 2-0 in region play, and that's our goal. That was the thing. We had started off 1-3 and, had a bad taste in our mouth, especially from Ravenwood. But the beauty of it was I told them all our goals are still in front of us. We just got to keep getting better. And, they accomplished that last night, starting off 1-0 in the region. And, we got to have a great week of practice to go 2-0 in the region, and that'll happen Monday through Thursday.
Coach, because I know that Laverne, it's always great to win Laverne, but the biggest thing about last night was, like you said, 1-0 in the region. Yeah,
I mean, that was our message all week. We don't make it about, it wasn't even about the opponent. It didn't matter who we were playing. I told them, I said, it doesn't matter if it's Laverne or the Green Bay Packers. It's a region football game, and we've got to execute in that game. And, if we want to make the playoffs and make a deep run in the playoffs, we've got to start with this one. And, I thought they did a good job of that last night. I was proud of how hard they played. And, this group, it's been, I'll be honest with you, as a coach, it's been a grind. And, hopefully we can learn from, I think we're learning a little bit each week. And, this group, they sort of gluttons for punishment in some ways. They're slow learners in some areas, but we're getting there, and I'm proud of them. They're my group, and I wouldn't trade them for anybody else, and we'll keep. That's why we have coaches. That's why coaches are so important in our society. You got to teach these young men the right lessons and the character lessons, what right versus wrong is, and doing the hard things. And this group's going to end up being fine. I know that, and I think at the end of the day we'll look back and we'll see we came a long ways, I think.
Coach, you're doing the right things. That's why Matt Williams is the Dean of Rutherford County High School football coaches, because he's doing the right things down there at Smyrna. We wish you the best of luck this coming Friday, Coach, and appreciate your time.
All right, Danny. Have a good weekend. Thank you.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Little Caesars Pizza, with 4 Murfreesboro locations: Memorial Boulevard, Warrior Drive, South Rutherford Boulevard, and Old Fort Parkway. Get hot and ready pizza from Little Caesars.
This is a paid legal ad.
When a family member is lost as a result of someone else's negligence,